All right, welcome back in this morning. Now time for a Good Day special report. We are calling it Kids Get Muscles. Today, more and more parents are signing up their children for special sports training. But is it too much? Britton Lynn looked into the topic. She joins us now with more on this. So Britton, what'd you find?
Yeah, we found that there's training facilities right here in Alabama that start training children as early as 5 years old. So we talked with two families that are training their children. We also talked with the specialists at American Sports Institute. We asked them what's safe and what's not, and how early is too early. Let's take a look.
It's become more common than ever before.
All of them started sports at 4. Fitness is a way of life because it's part of who we are.
Kids are doing additional training for school sports and fitness at a much younger age.
Weight training for kids has really evolved in the last 10 or 15 years. We're at an age where patients are afraid of letting their kids get behind and not be specialized enough and not be trained enough.
This is one of the sports facilities where athletes can come and train at as early as 7.
So you had 5 touchdown passes?
Yes.
That's pretty good. What's your goal for next year?
10. I work out a lot.
Because it's helped you be a better player, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it has?
Mm-hmm.
Shay Pitts and her 7-year-old son Alex have been working out at D1 in Homewood in hopes that he can become a more advanced athlete.
What made you decide, okay, he's pretty good, but I want to take him to the next level?
Because he likes it so much. When he started playing baseball, I think he started at the age of 6, and he was, he was decent. He was not a bad athlete at all. But once he started here, his speed and coordination just went through the roof. He has become so much better of an athlete.
He's also learned how to be a better quarterback.
You put one hand on this white line, thumb, and there's one space between it.
Nice work. Let's go, guys. Keep it up.
The Pitts aren't the only family trying to get ahead. The Holseys own a CrossFit gym in Alabaster and describe themselves as fitness fanatics.
If I'm going to teach my kids right from wrong, why wouldn't I teach them the correct way to, say, deadlift something? To me, health and fitness is as important as the right and wrong.
7, 8.
The Holsey family has a history of diabetes, so nutrition is an essential component to their fitness regimen.
We kind of eat a different way. We eat a paleo lifestyle, and paleo it's nuts, fruit, vegetables, meat, and seeds. We don't eat dairy, bread, or sugar. The implementation of that is a little bit harder with the kids because at school they have choices, and they do choose sometimes to eat that piece of pizza and get that brownie.
So does it work? We talked with the experts at American Sports Medicine Institute to find out. The doctors there conduct aggressive biomechanical and clinical research in an effort to learn more about treating and preventing injuries.
There's a lot of controversy as far as what that actually does for the kids. We know that until a kid gets testosterone, until they go through puberty, they really don't have much of a chance to build muscle. So they can't make their muscles big and strong like you can as an adult.
The American Sports Medicine Institute recommends that adolescents take 3 to 4 months off from their focus sport to reduce injury from overemphasizing the same muscles.
If you do the same movement over and over again in a child, those growth plates and growing areas take the stress and they can fail sooner than they would in the adult. There's no question that fatigue is important in having an injury. So players that are overusing their body parts, whether it's playing baseball or soccer or training, can cause a higher risk of injuries.
Even with safe training in gyms like D1 and CrossFit, doctors say not much can be done to improve athletic performance. What can be gained from early training is increased coordination and proper form. But reasonable expectations need to be set.
So it sounds like one of the big problems is kind of unrealistic expectations.
A little bit, yeah, unrealistic, and not really tailoring it to each kid, especially in that age range when you're dealing with adolescents. That's such a broad spectrum of kids, and they may all be 8th graders, but in the 8th grade there's a gigantic spectrum of body size and ability and strength.
It's also important to remember the focus should be on kids having fun, not making a child protege.
When it comes to working out, one of the things you have to ask kids and parents is, what is the goal? You know, we get asked all the time, should my son be doing, you know, bench presses? Or if your goal is to get bigger pecs, you probably ought to be doing bench press. Is that something you ought to think about when you're 8 years old? Probably not.
The younger you are, the less likely you are to be able to build any muscle and really see any strength gain. So, you know, at the smaller, the 7, 8, 9-year-old kids, I think the focus needs to be on enjoying the sport, not necessarily on getting bigger, stronger, and faster. The reality is you're not going to make a professional baseball player out of somebody unless they've got that kind of talent.
What's your favorite part about coming here?
Just having fun.
Wow, that really says it all right there. So, Britton, what was the takeaway from this? What should parents really know?
Well, I think it's really important for parents to remember that when approaching athletic training, you should do what Dr. Dugas said. What's your goal? He said it's important to remember that training won't build strong muscles for children until after puberty, but we also know that training can increase a child's coordination and build proper form, which could even help them avoid injuries down the road. But one thing to really remember is taking that time off. Like they said, the American Sports Medicine Institute recommends that children take 3 to 4 months off their focus sport to reduce injury.
You know, they call them professionals for a reason because they get paid for it later in life. Maybe let them be a kid right now.
Yeah, that's what they said. Just let them have fun.
Yeah. All right, Britton. Next week, what do you have?
Next week, we're going to go into concussions in children. There's been a lot of talk in the NFL and college and high school about concussions, but there's some differences between concussions in youth and children, so we're going to take a look at that.
All right. Thanks, Britton. Thanks. All right. We are all familiar with green tea, but what about